finished the first game, although he struck every time on this left leg.
Lots of loft, lots of rev.
Lots of slips.
Wow, too many. That's a design. You don't like those.
He can get out of that ball clean, man. He got it out of the lane, but his thumb was late getting out of that ball.
During the commercial break, you mentioned that you feel that this might be a game that would determine Player of the Year honors.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Hricsina wins the match, he's going to be hard to catch because he'll have 3 victories. And I realize money is very, very important in this whole scenario of this thing, but still, 3 victories is a lot of victories. Gary would only have 1. So Gary, if he wants that shot at Player of the Year, has to win this match, I think.
Dickinson right now 2nd in money, 1st in match play appearances. And opens with a strike. He gained a lot of confidence, Mike, in the championship round with that great victory in Las Vegas.
He certainly did. Gary Dickinson, very smooth 5-step player, holds that ball up just underneath his chin. He's looked the same right now as he has since 1968. That left arm down. Here we are as the foot's getting flat on the floor. We see where the backswing is. The ball is going to come right through here in a nice arc, nice slide. He's always been on balance as he hops a little bit right there.
A little more loft, looking for the double, and can't coax the 10-pin to fall.
And the big difference between Gary Dickinson right there and John Hricsina, you know, Hricsina hits that half pocket, that power knocks it out. Gary, tall player, 6'4", former basketball player, where in Texas, where he grew up. He's not 56, though. He's only 50.
Right, and he also has a senior title, winning in Las Vegas. Spare ball, 10-pin disappears. Now Hricsina trying to get back on track on the right-hand lane, which has been the better of the 2 for him.
See that follow-through, Dan? When he comes out here to the right with that follow-through, boy.
That was the point I made about Gene Stotts. This pair of lanes right now is favoring a player that can go right and make a power-type shot.
But he's got to start it left and send it out there with heavy fingers. And watch the follow-through. See that short backswing? Watch this follow-through. Shovels it there. But see how he kept that line on his shoulders right there. Needs to get back in the match with a double. That does. Now he knocked the 10-pin out where Gary left it.
You and I, of course, are talking about Hricsina and Dickinson, but how can we forget our leading money winner right now, John Handegaard, who is way up there in all categories as well. John did not cash this week and will not be bowling next week, I'm told.
No, I think he's bowling next week. He's not going to bowl as Gary goes high, breaks up the split. He's not going to be bowling over in West Palm. He'll be in Ireland that week. Yeah.
Okay. Fortunate break for Gary Dickinson, who leaves just the 7th.
Again, though, I mean, he's got to strike in this match to win it. Switches balls, cross lane at the 7-pin. And one of the great spare shooters on the tour makes it.
Speaking of the tour, he bowled almost full-time on the regular tour. I asked him the difference between bowling with the youngsters and with the more mature players.
Well, you know, I think out here it's a lot more relaxed. The money's not as high, of course, and the guys are more cooperative. They help each other. They work out with each other. In fact, I think overall some of the guys here may practice and bowl more than the kids on tour. I used to think David Ozio might put in more hours than anybody, but after being out here on the senior tour for a while and watching some of these guys, I think some of these guys practice more than they do.
Oh! 9-pin stands. Good thing the 4-pin wasn't along with it.
Well, you know, it's just a fine line. He's a little high this time. He was a little light last time. He gets the break of the 2-pin kissing the 4. The 4 does fall into the 9, but doesn't hit it hard enough to knock it over. Spares aren't going to win this match. Spares aren't going to win it.
John Hricsina working on a double after a disastrous start to this title match.
Thing is that John, he's liable to not stop striking, period. That open, and he just out the sheet.
A beautiful shot there, and it appears to me, Mike, that he's a little more relaxed in the championship round. I had a chance to talk to him about that.
Well, I think I'm getting more relaxed. I mean, it's just proves that, you know, the more you're doing it, the more relaxed you should be. So I'm not really nervous tonight. I'm just happy to be here tonight, really.
Big break on the left-hand lane. Oh, his wife loved that shot.
She sure did. I mean, she sat through a lot of losses. You know, what's his record in the championship round? 9-20. You know, and he's starting to turn it around now. Boy, this guy could win everything.
A victory here tonight gives him 3 wins in 93, and with some big tournaments left to go, he could really do some damage. Dickinson trying to climb back into the match with a beautiful shot on the right-hand lane.
Gary's got to respond right now, Dan. I mean, you know, he's falling further and further behind in this match. He hasn't had a double yet. He's got to show John Hricsina that he can strike on this pair and shoot a 220 or 230.
It's a mental game. And talking to Gary during the practice session, he said, Denny, they didn't touch the lanes. They're like they are in the night block. Hricsina and Stuss are going to have a huge advantage.
But he's got to ignore that and concentrate on his own game. Hard to do.
Needs a strike desperately, gave it room, and just can't get the 7-pin to fall. Commissioner Mike Connor looking quickly up at the scoreboard, trying to find out if Gary Dickinson still has an outside shot in this match.
Outside is, it's slipping away, Dan. It really is, because it's just the difference is the power in the night type of a night block thing, where Hricsina's power is a big advantage.
Getting back to the point I'm making, normally in a championship round, the lanes are oiled and they resemble the way they are in the morning blocks. So there's not as much area, there's not as much back end. So a straighter player like Gary Dickinson has an advantage, you would think, over a hook player like Hricsina.
Well, but right now,
this one's hooking back. Why?
Too much. Overreacted at that point. So there's still life. He leaves the 6-10, breaks up the split. John, who's a very good spare shooter too, uses the same ball to shoot all the spares. Now, he trusted this one, but he got it maybe too much of a handful. He threw it wide and it just snapped. Overreacted.
The difference between the two. Right now, this guy is stalking Dickinson. He is as aggressive as I have ever seen him be right now.
It's confidence, Dan. I mean, it's just pure, unadulterated confidence. He just knows that he is, right now, he thinks he's the best player out here.
The cranker versus the stroker.
Well, right now, if somebody says something in the middle of his approach, and ooh, did you see that look on his face there? John is a mild-mannered guy, and he's getting angry at me. See if he can come back.
After the reset, lots of speed. Oh, Dan, do you have a shot on left-hand lane?
See, that's proves his concentration level has gone to another level. I mean, because he just pushed that out of his mind, came right back, reset, and bingo. 19 pins. Dickinson's still alive.
Struck the last time on this lane. Does likewise this trip.
Got to put them together, Dan.
If he does, it's a 9-pin match.
Pat Sanilla and his wife, Lisa, host here. Pat owns several bowling centers in this area.
Lisa looks a little nervous, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's on camera.
Key shot here.
I think so, yeah. Gary looks at that ball and then focuses on the target. Then goes.
Left the soft 7. This one rolls up and just exploded the rack on 23.
And he says, hey, John, I'm still here. Watch this ball. I mean, it comes up light and gets the swisher there. His reaction. Come on, you going to carry? All right.
A dance on the deck. Oh, look at this shot. Hricsina, that was out of bounds. He hooked that one right through the condos back onto the golf course.
Well, see, what he tried to do that time was throw it wider. And that was the wrong thing to do. I mean, this ball really gets out past the second arrow, and he doesn't have that much area. The 210 needs to make it, and Dickinson's ahead.
While he was sitting on the bench,
we were writing him off, and he is still he's ahead in this match, and we're going to the 9th frame.
And Dickinson's on the double.
Heading to the lane he's hit twice in a row.
You're not kidding.
John, with 2 splits in this game, still has a potential score of 225. Needs to strike here in the 9th frame.
Hricsina tries with a comebacker and leaves the 7-pin, and all of a sudden the Hricsina Express has derailed, and it happened on the right-hand lane.
Yep. Well, when he went high that time in the 6th frame, I think that was playing on his mind when he got up in the 8th.
Spare up, get Dickinson up off the bench, and I had a chance to chat with him further about this one tonight. Player of the Year honors.
Well, I'm looking forward tonight. I think right now the leader probably is John Hricsina or John Handegard, and John's got 2 titles, and Handegard's had a great year. So if I can win tonight, that'd put 2 titles for me and get me in close with the average and the money race.
As a matter of fact, if he does win, he'll go to 57,000, and he'll take over the lead because Handegard did not cash.
Well, he got a break there, Dan, right through the heart of the pins, left only the 6-10. 6 is a little off spot here. He's going to have to hit both pins with this ball in order to make the spare. If he does, it's a 3-pin match right through the heart we see here. And anytime you go through the heart and don't leave a split, you figure you came out of it pretty well. All right, we head to the 10th. 3 pins is the difference.
And he's in a position to post the score first. And in a championship game, that's where you'd always like to be.
In fact, it's 1 pin. I'm sorry, it is 1 pin.
Doesn't get much closer than that.
He needs 3 to lock him out. Big shot here. Big, big, big.
Brooklyn.
And he leaves the 9-10. He's handed it to him.
What a horrible break.
Yeah, but it wasn't a good shot either. I mean, he's got to make this 10. He has to make it. He's behind by a pin if he makes it. He just, tried to keep the speed up, and it just went left immediately. And it was a horrible break. He could have left the 6-9-10.
One of the most accurate players of all time. He's got a good shot at this.
He's got to be accurate here. Don't think so.
Tugged it. By a fraction, you wouldn't expect Gary Dickinson to open in the 10th, but that's what he did. And on a silver platter, perhaps victory number 3 in 93 for John Hricsina.
He still needs a mark, and he's opened the last time on this night.
Not as much room.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Man.
No!
The table's
5-10. He's got to make. Well, wait a minute. What is the score here?
Yikes. It's up.
He has to make it. He's going to lose by a pin if he doesn't make it.
Both players throwing horrendous shots and leaving splits. Mike said if he makes it, he's a winner.
Oh, and Dickinson wins. My goodness gracious.
Just that close. 193, 192. Wow. And John Hricsina can only shake his head along with Gary Dickinson. A wild finish here. 2 players falling down in the home stretch, but Gary Dickinson comes up with the victory.